Gentlemen, please. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the main event of the evening. Frank Warren proudly presents an international heavyweight contest of 10 3-minute rounds. Introducing in this corner, ladies and gentlemen, from London, Joe Bugner.
Mixed reception as always.
And from South Carolina, USA, Sutton.
Well, he didn't get much better either.
At the weigh-in at 1 o'clock today, Bugner scaled 16 stones, 7.5 pounds. Sutton, 14 stones, 11 pounds. Your officials for this contest, referee Mr. Mike Jacobs, timekeeper Mr. Ray Rice.
Well, there was a slight alteration in the weights there to what I was given. He's actually 16.7.5. So that's what he weighed last time out, really, for Dino Dennis. I thought he'd come in at 16.5. I was misled there. But I'm sure that Sutton will know the difference. Well, I hope that he can fight a little bit more than he's able to speak for, Danny Sutton. He's really hardly said anything here, to the frustration of most of the newspaper men looking for the hot quotes. So the referee from London is Mike Jacobs, who's done 6 World Championships. And Joe is unloaded with the right hand immediately, the accepted way, the corrective punch for to beat a southpaw. He's certainly using height and size right away, Bugner, isn't he? A little bit of snarl there too. Go in and, as they say in this business, show that you're the governor right from the off, and you've got a bit of a chance. Well, if Mr. Sutton's not the best fighter in the world, he's going to try and make it awkward for those who think they are. Well, he fancies his chance, doesn't he, Bugner? He's tapped in a few right hands. This fella's not exactly difficult to hit. But if he's taking Shaver's best shots, I'm wondering whether he can take Bugner's. And then what will happen? Maybe he was having a little sleep in the dressing room, which was why he didn't want to let anybody in there, Sutton, because he's certainly looking a bit lazy at the start. Oh, even the people in the back of the hall could see that punch coming from Sutton. Maybe the referee Jacobs is going to have a hard job here of parting these two. So there's a minute to go then in the opening round. Bit surprised really Joe doesn't start banging in with that left-hand jab, keep this fellow at bay a bit, because he really is untidy, to say the least, when he lays on like that, Sutton. Well, that's really the crudest left-hand southpaw swing you can see. That was the left-hand scoring punches. That counts and stings and could keep Sutton at bay. That's a bit more like the old boxing Joe from his youthful days. Well, a long walk back indeed, isn't it, for Mr. Sutton? He really is the laziest fellow you could ever set eyes on. Yes, well, a little bit of distraction there as we go over and have a look. That's the character I was telling you about, Don White. He brought over Robert Mullins to fight Pat Caldell, and that was a good fight, but I don't think the heavyweight quite lives up to that anyway. We'll find out. He knew all about Bugner, so maybe he thinks he has got a chance. And a call over there in Bugner's corner, with trainer Fossey and Robert Warren on the outside of the ropes there, the brother of the promoter. And there he is holding Bugner's gum shield ready, which in fact is the only protection the boxer's allowed above the waist. He's a big boy, is Aljo, isn't he? So round 2 then. And that was a bit more like it. It looks as though the seconds are saying, come on, let's go out and take care of this fellow, because he's a real messer and he's not going to make it look too good. Saying quite a bit that he's not going to bide his time too much. He can't afford to at his age, but he's a little bit slow getting off here when he's got it all under control, really, once he sorts this fellow's awkward style out. The most damage that's been inflicted so far is just Sutton leaning on. Really, Bugner relying on the big right hand, because he knocked Dino Dennis over. Each fight has got to be treated a bit differently, and he could set this fellow up, I would have thought, with the left hand jabs first and lure him on to the punch. Well, it's always risky to say it in heavyweights, but there's no sign at all that Sutton is any kind of puncher. You can see how he's in incident fights. It's the most awkward character they could have sorted out for Bugner. He fell on his knees and was throwing punches at the same time. So we're 4 minutes into the fight then. Jabbed his way in a bit better there, Bugner. That was more encouraging, but this fellow seems to ignore them. Amazing the way he throws that swiping left hand of his, Sutton. Referee Jacobs will probably have to work as hard as the heavyweights, and he is in the second round. Well, I wonder what's going on now in that corner. Bugner saying, where do we sort this fellow out from? Remember, he was supposed to fight an Italian, Adonolfi, and he dropped out because Bugner said he wasn't very keen. He didn't think it'd be much an advantage. He regarded Adonolfi as a light heavyweight, and he said, can you sort me out an American? But this fellow from the deep south doesn't seem to have made much impression at all. The fight he had with Shavers, by the way, was on the United States aircraft carrier Yorktown at Charleston, which is now a tourist attraction. Most unlikely, isn't it? There it is. Now you know why they call him Smiley. He obviously never smiles. Well, he's getting the earful of treatment there from manager Don White. So round 3. Really, we don't want to get back into the old, often lethargic Bugner, just when he was hitting the high spots, as it were, knocking out Dino Dennis and defeating Winston Allen and Eddie Nielsen. Maybe the American is responding a bit to the pushing from the manager. I really don't know how you would describe Sutton's style, except messy. And not the sort of opponent to make Bugner look at his brightest. You're always wondering what's going to happen if the fight goes quite a few rounds, really, whether Bugner's going to start blowing a bit and slowing down. Very hard to take a few years off in this business and come back and remain in top shape the whole time. The mind makes appointments, really, that the body can't keep. Well, what do you know about this? The crowd cheering the American on, anything for a bit of action. Not a change of expression at all from Sutton. Looks as though Bugner really is getting a bit annoyed that Sutton's ignoring his punches so far and having the temerity to come back. I wonder what will happen if he ever catches Bugner with one of those swinging left hands. Well, the crowd's becoming very quickly on Sutton's side at the end of round 3. Referee Mike Jacobs sorted out the scorecard there, 10 points per round, of course. And he has handled now 6 world championships, this referee, but I should imagine he can see the difference. And the whistling there is obviously for the rounds board lady. And that's not any kind of makeup that they're putting on Bugner, by the way. That's a traditional little grease around the eyes to stop the chafing of the gloves a bit. There you are. No chance of smiling, and in pops the gum shield. Invented, that was, by a dentist in Notting Hill, and it was first worn by the great Ted Kidlois right back in the early 20s and in the First World War.
Settles out. Round 4.
Round 4. Bugner out for work early and Sutton needing time to come out. Remember, the Americans are used to this 10-second buzzer. We still don't have that in Britain to get them off to school. Or the 5-second buzzer. I think Bugner's really beginning to say, what's this bloke up to? He's just pushing and shoving and being awkward, and he's also absorbing my best punches. Well, there's one that got through the swing that he's been promising. Luckily he blocked it with his forehead, really. Bugner getting into the face-pulling act and saying, I'm enjoying that, mate, and keeping his head out of the way, really, because when Sutton comes in, it can be a little bit dangerous with the head clashes. The left swing is the only punch that Sutton has got in his armoury. Now he's doing a little bit of dancing now to say, well, to Bugner, I'm giving a couple of stone away to you, but it doesn't matter. And this is the question we'd all ask now, is as the fight goes on, whether Bugner, in fact, will run out of gas. That's his strong point, really. At one time, he was a good stayer. And only 5 opponents from 66 have ever had him down, and that did not include Muhammad Ali in 2 fights, one for the World Championship. A minute gone then in this round. Bugner using the ropes to his advantage there, using them almost in a catapult fashion, really. It's illegal if it's too noticeable. The referee would stop him doing that, but he's just half using it. Well, that was a livelier round with Mr. Sutton still got this lovely nonchalant stroll back to the corner as though he's going in to dismiss the office cares. They're putting the ice pack there on Sutton's right eye or right cheek. But certainly Bugner looking a bit sluggish. Let's have a look at a replay in that round then. See, there's the swing there. It's the inside of the glove from Sutton. It's a bit open. And really, in the critical boxing parlance, it doesn't look as though he breaks an egg. But he got Joe a little bit concerned there. Well, that was the one that got away. And again.
Seconds out, round 5.
Fifth round. And really, if Bugner wants to make the dreams come true of having another crack at the World Championship, remember he fought Muhammad Ali in stifling heat in Kuala Lumpur. And if he wants to get back in with Larry Holmes or even Mike Dokes now, who's the WBA champion, he's certainly got to do something a little bit more impressive than this. Because in America, really, Sutton is what Damon Runyon would have called strictly an opponent. Oh, there you are. Well, he's arguing back there, Bugner, saying, what about what he's doing to me? But certainly Bugner was palming his man off there. Well, it certainly looks like being the longest of his comeback, and would you believe, the man's cut. Bugner is cut over the left eye. Very rarely do you see Bugner caught in a fight like that, so somebody's hitting him, and fair dues to Sutton. Well, will that make Bugner just a shade angry, or will it encourage the other fellow to come on a bit? Well, it looks as though it might have done. The main thing is the American's got a bit of youth on his side. And the other comeback fights he's had, his opponents all put up a show, at least Allen and Nielsen did, and well, let's be fair, they were knocking on a bit as well. Well, I'll tell you, there's not enough action there. They're too slow to catch a cold. about heavyweight boxing is they can stand looking at each other for half an hour and then one punch can end it all. Well, there was a head clash there, but it was he caught Bugner on the cheek with that. It didn't worsen the cut, and you can see the way he's moving his head around there, Bugner, that he's saying, no, I don't want to do more of that. But it's not a serious cut at all. And these experienced seconds, people like Ernie Posse, used to box himself, will use now the solution of adrenaline as ordered by the Boxing Board of Control medical panel. And they've just got the swab stick over that left eye as a coagulant. I'm wondering now what Joe's wife Marlene is saying. My man's marked. I don't think she's seen that before. So it's not exactly unknown territory for Bugner now to come out for the 6th round, but he's won the others in 3, 5 and 3. And there she is, looking rather concerned, I would have thought, Marlene Bugner, with the middleweight champion representing the Board of Control, Johnny Pritchett, on her left there. Round 6 then, and Mike Jacobs really having to haul Sutton off his stool, but when he does come, let's be fair, he's pitching his share of punches. So we're at the halfway stage now. And as they say in heavyweight boxing, anything can happen, and usually does. Using the ropes a little bit too much, really. The spring in the legs, carrying a little bit of lead in the legs. You never know after, what, 16 years now as a professional. Joe Bugner. You really can never tell what Sutton's game plan is, because he does the same thing every round. I really can't understand why Bugner isn't using that left hand a bit more. There was a time on the way up when you could say that was reliable as the Greenwich time signal. He's used it quite well in that round. Tempted to say it about time too. I wouldn't have thought Danny Sutton has to face up to too many left-hand merchants in America like that. He does wade back in. He totally ignores Bugner's punches. I would suspect the only thing to bring a smile on Sutton's face now, if he does land a haymaker and Joe goes down. Southpaws do tend to become known in the trade as notorious spoilers often, although I've seen some great southpaw fighters, but you know, Southpaws never won the heavyweight championship of the world. And even the great Joe Louis never fought a southpaw. He said one tried to turn southpaw on him, and I said, what happened? He said, I don't know, I knocked him out with the next punch. Well, I think it's going to take more than words of wisdom now from Coach Fossey there to get this fellow. I mean, he's well winning the fight. There's no problem about that. The last round, I mean, he just walked away with that left hand scoring the whole time. But he... have a look at a bit of slow motion there, although really there were times when you didn't know whether it was slow or fast motion when it was live there. It comes in all the time, Sutton. There's no fear, is he? Fair dues for that. And if he does land with one of those left swipes, who knows? What a character, isn't he? He reminds me a bit of John Tate, who comes from that part of the world, the WBA man that defeated Sutton in his last fight. I can understand a bit now how he absorbed the punches of Ernie Shavers. In the 7th round then, scheduled for 10. It's quite obvious that whatever happens now, Bugner's going to say this fella's awkwardness causing all the trouble, but really he must dictate more than this. Not always winning a fight that counts, is how you win. So a minute gone then in the 7th. Just to recap, 16-7.5 Bugner, 14-11 Danny Sutton from South Carolina. A left hook of all things started that off, and it looks as though in the 7th that Bugner really has livened up. Now, can he press the advantage? Certainly Sutton's legs dissipate him very much there, and it's up to Bugner now to give himself some leverage to get the next punches in. And it looks as though now he's got Sutton on the hook. And if he stops it now, we can forget all about that pedestrian stuff that went early on. And it was a good start to a drum roll there, that first little left hook landed. He's still got plenty of time in this round to do it. Don't forget Sutton's been under fire many times before. He probably knows how to hold. Not for long, I wouldn't suspect, if Bugner does the job properly. Well, you certainly can't tell by the look on Sutton's face, but his legs are giving the evidence. And I would have thought Mike Jacobs, who's very sprightly anyway, will only need an excuse to dive in there if he sees Sutton starting to wilt. But the bell comes to the rescue. What a sound that must have been for Sutton, who thought, well, at least somebody's on my side, and it was the timekeeper. Well, that young lady looking very pleased with herself, but this poor fellow's been under fire. And it was a good start in the punches, though. I was impressed with that one by Bugner. He got himself out of trouble well. So let's have a look now at Bugner getting in there in replay. Misses with the right, there it is, the left hook, like that, and you can see the legs there. He went to move and the legs said no, we're not coming with you. But just caught him with the inside of the glove there, Bugner. Had he turned that knuckle in, I think he would have gone down from that one. And he's instinctively trying to fight back Sutton. Full marks to him for that. So a runaway round really then, as we come up for round 8. Surely now Bugner will have to say, well, I've got to take this man out cleanly to make any impression on world status in the heavyweight ring. Oh, good shot, the uppercut. First time he's used it in the fight, and you're saying, well, why didn't he do this earlier? in some respects, Bugner's actually fought himself into shape as he's gone along. It's amazing, really, how Sutton keeps nagging away. He changed his mind there, Bugner. He said, how dare you just move away as I got that right hand ready to throw. Don't need any theatricals, Joe. He's really got to get stuck in now, because you can't lark about like that in world company. A minute gone then in round 8. You can't miss now, Sutton with the uppercut. Standing a bit square on the southpaw anyway. He's badly cut over the right eye, Sutton. I didn't see the punch inflict that, but it obviously did, because he kept him at bay. And it looks as though he's going to rescue him in the 8th round. I would think with the cut eye, he's going over there to ask the second to wipe away the blood and let him have a look. The referee, Mike Jacobs. From outside, it looks a bad one. No, he's going to let it box on. The referee's certainly a lot closer to it than I am. Certainly the American can't complain that the referee stopped it at the first opportunity, and certainly he wouldn't do so if the cut was dangerous. It's amazing, really, with the punches landed like that, and suddenly Sutton should be cut so quickly. Wondering if Sutton can in fact finish the course, whether the tournament can work sufficiently on that eye to keep him going for 2 more rounds after this. I'll be surprised if it carries on, really, because I thought it might have been a smart move for manager Don White to say, well, you've given it all you've got, you're not winning anything. They do like the pleasure of going the distance, you know. It might be a foolish tray in a professional, but it's always an admirable one, really. And he too, the manager there, working with the swab stick. And it looks as though he is coming out all right for the 9th round. But really is a distance behind. So there they are. They just sometimes put a drop of adrenaline cream over the cut. It's all part and parcel of this business. It's obviously a bit gruesome at times, but you know, these fellas seem to get used to it. It's hardest game of all, I always think. So the 9th round then, and Smiley Sutton trying to pitch himself back in, and as of now the corner's done a pretty good job on that cut, but really they can't hold it up for long. Yes, that's it. I thought he wouldn't, the referee. He gave him every chance, Mike Jacobs. So in the 9th round, Sutton protesting that he wanted to go the limit, and people diving in the ring. I suppose it has to be now a satisfactory win for Bugner, but with the expression on his face, it seems as though he's being a bit honest and saying, well, I didn't want to win by cuts, or a cut in this case, and it is a nasty one. I thought perhaps in the previous round, I'm surprised really that the manager didn't say that'll do, we can quit there, with some kind of glory. But referee Mike Jacobs, a compassionate act and a sensible act, I thought.
9, ladies and gentlemen, Sutton having
so Simon Reed there up in the ring with Bugner. If he catches his breath, let's hear what he's got to say. And they've just wiped him down. consoling the loser, but he's for the first time having things to say. Sounds like we've got some soccer fans in here tonight as well, although they don't see the extent of that cut from the back of the hall where they're yelling. But certainly Bugner doesn't look too happy with that performance, does he? Let's find out.
Joe, a section of the crowd there were shouting, "What a load of rubbish."
Well, they're idiots, aren't they? And the fact is, this kid had sustained a very nasty cut. And, you know, Mike Jacobs saw it. It's right down to the bone. I mean, what the hell do they want? Do they want him to lose his eye? Silly people, you know. I've done a great job. I carried him, you know, I wanted to go 10 today, although I was saying I'd like to do it in 5. But, you know, I mean, the fact is, it was an easy target, and I needed the experience of 10 rounds, and he sustained a cut eye with the right hand. And, well...
He took your punch as well, didn't he?
Oh, I said from the start, he's never been knocked out. He's been stopped, but never knocked out. So, well, you saw it, he was still there.
He was a frustrating man to fight.
He was, because he was all arms and movements, you know.
If I can bring Frank Warren in now. Frank, what do you think of the booing that's going on around the ring?
I think it's disgusting. That boy had a very bad cut over his eye, and that fight, Mike Jacobs' decision was absolutely correct.
What do you think should happen next? I mean, that, in a way, was an unsatisfactory win, but Bugner now is on the verge of the top 10.
Well, that's it. His next fight is against Randy Cobb on the 8th of June. That will be here. You know, and I think he's going to prove everybody, you know, exactly what he's got left in him. And the thing is, so this fella comes to have a fight. We don't take nothing away from him. He comes to have a fight. And look at the eye. It's a terrible cut.
Thanks very much, Frank. Reg, back to you.
Well, there you are. I don't necessarily accept